Well, hey folks, this is Fat Guy. I'm Fat Guy Flies RC, and this is the 80mm Sky Blazer F-86 from FMS. Let's take her up and have some fun with her. Gotta put the gear down though first. Pay attention how long that takes. All right, now this does have thrust reversing, but I've only got a 6-channel receiver in there, so I opted to use well, you know what? I still have it open because I could. Well, no, I've got flaps and everything. So I need a 7-channel if I wanted to use thrust reversing. And if I wanted to put the air brake or the speed brake back there, if I wanted to have it on a separate switch, I'd need an 8th channel. So I've got that wide into flaps, and I've opted not to use thrust reversing. So, but the way the duct work is on the inlet of this plane, the thrust reversing isn't really all that effective anyways, and the air brake is. So it is an absolute beautiful model. Wind has died a little bit, so I will be using the takeoff flaps. This has a very deep, throaty sound to it when she spools up. And my high rates, timer set for 4 minutes. Run a Spectrum protocol receiver, or it's actually a Spectrum receiver. All right, let me reset my time for 4 minutes now that I'm down there. All right, here we go. Such a great sound. Run to 5,000 HRB. All right, bring her right down the runway here. All right, inverted, no problem. Bring it right at us. We're going to peel away. Love the way that sounds. All right, we're going to take it up now. See how high I can get her. Right there. That's where she peters out. All right. Going to glide her right into us. A little bit of throttle now, a little bit more throttle. Now I'm going to hit it. All right, let's get our first landing in. We'll make a gear pass to make sure my gear is down. And it is.
Landing flaps.
All right, got the landing flaps in now. The speed brake is out. Back into a little bit of throttle. Keep on my wings level, letting throttle bleed off my altitude.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
And a little bit of flare. There you go. That's all you need. See, I still had a quarter of the runway left, so I really don't need the speed brake. I mean the thrust reverse, because the way that inlet is and the way the big cheater is underneath, so much of that reverse thrust goes out the bottom instead of right down the pipe or down the ductwork, so you don't get that much use out of it. I would much rather, if you have a choice between the speed brake and thrust reverse, go with the speed brake. All right, we're going to take off this time with no takeoff flaps. You're going up. All right, you're flying along. We're at a stall test now. You lose power. What does she do? Clean stall. She started gliding forward. Great. Starts dropping that. All right, now We're going to come back at us, straight and level, lose power, but I'm going to hold elevator. I want to see which wing drops. Okay, the right wing is going to drop. Do that again. Hold an elevator, elevator. Okay, actually she stays straight. So, very benign stall. Very benign stall. Okay. I can see that my gear is down. Okay, I'm into the wind now, so. All right. We'll do a touch and go.
1 minute.
Well, more of a bounce and go. Okay. All right.
Landing flaps.
Landing flaps. Back into a little bit of power, establishing my sink rate, lining with my runway, letting throttle. Whoa. Yeah, that wind got me.
30 seconds.
There we go. Going to be in the grass. That's okay. Don't try to correct it. Let it roll. Because if I tried to correct that just then, I would tip over on one wing and damage something, and I just don't want to do that. I'll swallow my pride and run off the runway and go home with a non-damaged plane, maybe a little bit of grass. Big deal. All right. Now we flew 16 seconds shy.
Flaps up.
Put everything back in, clean her up. 16 seconds, 16 seconds shy of a 4-minute timer. All right, and let's check our battery and see where we're at. Now, do not like this hatch. It has a tiny little peg that holds this hatch in. These hatches are $75 each, and you say, well, no, they're not. They're only $30. You got to buy the decal set in order to get this also because of the decals on the side of the hatch, which is another like $30-something dollars. Makes the whole thing $75. That's a crock. Unplug that KM model afterburner. Thank you, KM models. That's the version 4. And we got 34% left, so that is a perfect storage rate. Back in the man cave, we'll go, just so you know, I'm running an AR637T Spectrum telemetry receiver, which I don't have the telemetry set up. I just don't do it. And this is the FMS 80mm F-86 Sky Blazer livery. Back in the man cave, we'll go over CG rates and all that good jazz. We'll see you there. God bless y'all, and don't forget, faith, family, and friends, F-86s, and keep them in the air. Bye, y'all. Hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, let's take up the FMS F-86 Sky Blazer 80mm. FMS, yeah, okay.
Motor on.
Is that right? After the flight, we'll go back to the man cave and talk about all the rates and everything. Find them high rates. Timer set for 4 minutes. Got a 5,000 HRB. And
Takeoff flaps.
got the air brake or speed brake tied in with the flaps because I've only got a 6-channel transmitter or a 6-channel receiver, and I didn't want to. I didn't have any more channels. I couldn't do it by itself. So, and I wanted to be able to use it, so I had to tie it in with the flaps. Now, if I put an 8-channel in there, I could use thrust reversing and keep it on its own separate channel. But to be honest, this plane flies and lands just fine, just the way it is. All right. Here we go. Beautiful evening. And I got my beautiful camera, Precious, filming for me. This has one of the best sounds of any RC plane. To me, between this one and the Arrows F-15, I don't know which one has a better sound.
Gear down.
Do a touch and go.
Gear up. Time remaining 3 minutes.
Want to take it up now? All right, bring it by low and fast. Do that again.
Landing flaps.
Except this time we're going to have all the stuff down. Going to keep a little more speed though.
Flaps up. Time remaining 2 minutes. Gear down.
All right. That was our 2-minute warning. Gonna do a no flap landing. No flaps. No flaps. Gonna be in the grass. Now, turn around and do that same landing, but with flaps. And you can see just what a difference it makes. Well, we'll fly around a little bit first and then do that same landing. Man, it's a great flying plane. Great flying jet.
Takeoff flaps.
Just doing takeoff flaps.
Flaps up. Gear up.
Bring it right by us and peel away. Taking it up.
One minute.
All right.
Gear down.
Bringing the gear down now.
Landing flaps.
As you can see, the rollout nowhere near. And that landing was a little wonky too.
Flaps up.
Still got 30 seconds. Let's go up,
30 seconds.
do that one more time. Not going to take the gear up this time though. Just going to take off and land.
Greg, land your landing flaps. Timer expired.
Much better landing. Actually almost textbook. And kept it on the runway. What a beautiful, beautiful jet. Great flying jet too. All right.
Flaps up.
Close everything up. We're 6 seconds over on a 4-minute timer. 4-minute timer. What'd you say? 4-minute timer. Hit that button. Unplug that beautiful KM model afterburner. %. Left. You can't beat that with a stick. Well, yeah, you could. You beat it with a stick. I don't want you want to beat up your model, but you know. All right. Well, folks. Yeah, see that little pin? That's a defect. They should have a stronger locking mechanism on that. Well, I just knocked my audio. Y'all went flying. Well, folks, there you go. That right there is the FMS F-86 80mm in the Sky Blazer livery. We'll meet you back in the man cave. We'll go over CG rates, AS3X settings, and all that good jazz. But I got to tell you right now, HOBBYZONE, thank you for this plane. She flies wonderfully, looks great. Just superb RC plane, RC jet. Folks, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless y'all. Keep them in the air. God is good. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends. And then Sky Blazers F-86s. Bye-bye. Well, hey, folks. This is Fat Guy Flies RC. All right. You saw me fly the 80mm F-86 Sky Blazers as the livery. Now, let's go over a little bit about the plane, some of the features. Number one, she does have available for you the speed brake. All right. If you look at the back of the plane, watch on the sides there.
Takeoff flaps, landing flaps.
All right. Now I have them tied in. I don't have them. They will actually, these speed brakes will actually come out much further. I've got them dialed in where they don't come out that much. But y'all saw my landings. Now into the wind, and she really did just fine. Did not really need much, and they weren't all that effective. The flaps is what really does it. They kind of look cool. They do help some though. Where you really notice them is when you have your approach. When you're coming in for your approach and you put them flaps down. I have flown her with and without the speed brake, and she does slow down a lot more with that speed brake, but she's a very, very controllable plane, and she does really, really well as far as that goes. Let's talk about CG. I'm sorry, I don't know if I have the numbers written on it or not. But I'll show you. If you look on the top of the plane, you can see these little marks I've got right here. Okay. If I don't like checking from the top, but I can. Where I put the 5,000 in there, she's CG's pretty darn good right there. The numbers will actually be in the description of the video. Okay. Got the hatch here. If you look where the 5,000 is, and I've got that 5,000. That's where she CG's perfect. Basically about an inch in from the very front of the battery tray. If you look real close, you can see a little hint of that. See a little bit of an opening there, right in front of that battery towards the battery tray. If you see that little sliver of opening, that's just where she CG's perfectly at. Of course, beautiful KM model afterburner inside there. All right. All right, now let's talk about rates. Now the flying rates that I flew in, ailerons 100%, 30% expo. Elevator 125%, 30% expo. Actually, I'm sorry. That was my rudder. Elevator is 100, yeah, elevator is 105. Rudder is 125 with 30% expo. Flap settings, and there again, the speed brake is tied in with it. Flaps up, a negative 100%. Landing,
Takeoff flaps.
50%. Okay. Or I'm sorry, takeoff flaps 50%. And landing positive 25%. Okay, so those numbers again, negative 100% for flaps up.
Takeoff flaps.
Takeoff flaps, negative 50. Landing positive 25 with no mix needed at all. So there you go. Now, forward programming. I have the, I can never remember the numbers, I'm sorry. I have the AR637T for telemetry receiver, which I don't even have the telemetry set up. I know I'm wasting it, but I just have that receiver. The gains are at 1 times sensitivity on roll, pitch, and yaw, 40, 50, and 60. Priority at 140 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Heading I didn't do anything with. My stop lock is all at 35 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Release rate, 55, 55, 75 on roll, pitch, and yaw. No nose wheel gyro because I've got the 6-channel operating my flaps. You got gear and you got flaps, so all 6 channels are being used. Okay, let's go over a few of the, talked about CG, we talked about rates, we talked about AS3X. All right, let's go over a few of the really cool features. Number one, not just the afterburner that I've installed, but see those 2 lights right above that? They are very, very day bright, okay? You've also got lights on the very front here that are on the underside of that front nose, okay? And they reflect off of that black or that silver panel that comes down in front of that gear. Of course, you've got this very beautiful, bright paint scheme, the Sky Blazer. Nav light on that side, nav light correct on that side, and just an all-in-all beautiful, beautiful plane. One of the most beautiful planes I own as far as RC jets go. Now, I am missing, however, the gear door. This gear door, I've gone through 3 of them. I hit the grass too hard or something, it rips it right off, and there's this little bitty plastic pins that hold that in there. I just gave up on it. These other ones, these door pins, these ones here, and this front one up here, no problem. No problem. I have 0 problem with them things. But that nose wheel door, it just will not stay. Just with me. Now, you may have better luck with it, but I mean, but look, just for a second, take a look at, look at how beautiful that thing is. I mean, that is an absolute gorgeous, gorgeous plane. All the particulars about the plane will be in the description of the video, along with the purchase link. You can either get it through HOBBYZONE or FMS directly. I'll have a affiliate link with both of those. If you get it through HOBBYZONE, though, if they have it in stock, this is June 1st of 25, if they have it in stock, I'll put a code in there. It's just FGFRC, Fat Guy Flies RC. You can take $10 off the price. I know it's a nearly $400 plane, but still, 10 bucks is 10 bucks. That's all they're allowed to let me give y'all. So, and I gotta do what they tell me, you know. So they say you can use this code to sell the plane. I'm like, okay. I have featured this plane many, many times on the channel. Technically, this is my 3rd one. The first one HOBBYZONE sent to me for me to review. And I flew the dog mess out of it. Decided one morning, wasn't really sure on my landings, and I came in, stalled on my own fault, and I ripped the nose gear out of it. And I mean, I did a lot of damage to the inside of that. After that, I said, and it ripped up the bottom and everything. It made a lot of damage to where it wasn't, and I didn't pay for the plane, so it wasn't show worthy. Okay, it wasn't worthy for me to do a review, so I decided, well, I would fix it. Well, I figured I could fix it. Well, let me back up before I say show quality. I figured I could fix it. Well, when I went to fix it, I got a new nose gear, put everything in there, and I had to rebuild the wood, the structure that the nose gear attaches. Well, look down that pipe. I know I'm jumping all over, but look down that inlet, right? Okay. There's just not much space there, right? Well, when I just caught up in fixing and filling that in, I filled that entire tube with that expanding foam, like this up here. Well, you can't see it on camera, okay? Insulation foam, and just inside. I mean, I just completely knocked off all the intake. And then of course that expanding foam was like glue, so I completely ruined that fuselage. Okay, well, great. Now I've ruined this plane. I really have. So I bought another one. And they were $500 even then. They're a little bit cheaper now. And pulled out $500, bought it myself. Another one from HOBBYZONE. Used my $10. Took it out, got it all dressed up and ready to go. Same receiver and everything. Took it out on a wet morning. I should have known better. There was a fog bank, and I hit that moisture, and that moisture sucked in, got in all in the electronics, and gave me a brownout on my receiver, and I was at full speed. And I'd lawn darted that sucker in hard and just obliterated the plane. So that's 2. This is the 3rd one. Okay, this tells you how much I love this thing. I try my best to take good care of this one because I'm not buying a 4th one, okay? 3's enough. First one, yes, I didn't have to pay for. These 2 I paid for. And I have presented them on the channel for HOBBYZONE and FMS, regardless of who bought them, okay? But I like this plane an awful lot, so... Well, anyways, that's my soapbox story. I had to share my real life story of the fat guy flies and my drama with my planes. But anyway, oh, and by the way, be careful with this hatch. This little button is what holds this hatch in. There's a little bitty pin there. If you lose this thing, okay, this is like a $30 to $40 part. But the problem is the decals that are on it, you have to buy the entire decal set just to get that, and that's like the whole bill ends up being $75 with shipping. So don't. Make sure you've got a nice flat 5000 that's anchored down, and it locks in nice and solid. Okay, because I lost one. Ask me how I know how much that cost. All right, folks. Well, by the way, how you like this new setup for doing these after flight reviews? This is going to be my studio. Got a camera mount here, so whenever I'll have some more studio lights in here to zoom in on when I'm doing parts and everything. That way you can have a much brighter, better look. And so anyways, there you go. All right, well, I know I'm bouncing all over the place. Y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. This is the Sky Blazer F-86 from FMS. It's a great flying plane. It's absolutely beautiful. It has one of those best sounds of any RC jet I've ever owned. It has a beautiful howl to it. All right, well, y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends, God is good. And keep them in the air, folks. Keep them in the air. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.